So you may have watched our last video and were very confused on the world we were playing on, so I'm just going to give you guys a quick tour of this world here. We call it our TU1 World, as you can see up there, and we aren't playing on TU1. The world was generated on TU1 though, as you can tell by the super generic world generation and how small the map is. And yeah, I transferred up a world from TU1 and we play on it on Xbox One Edition, and we still keep it like an old theme. We don't only use things from TU1. I think we go up to TU9 is the update for blocks and items that we can use, which was Java Edition 1.1, I think. And yeah, I just thought I'd give you guys a quick tour, because we're already about 2 videos into the world so far, so you guys might be a little lost on all of the things, because it is a huge world. We've been playing on it for about a year. So I guess the first thing to show you would be our very first base, which would be all the way over here. All the way down this glowstone path right here, we have our very first base, the first ever base in the server. I don't know why the floor is netherrack. It didn't used to be like that. I think all of these chests are empty. Nope, there's one almost broken wooden pickaxe, and that's it. And there's also our old mine right there. But yeah, that used to be our first base when we had first started the world. And then, as you can tell, we expanded a lot since then. Speaking of old stuff, this was our old cow pen right here. And then down here we had a wheat farm. And back then that was pretty much all that was on this world. This is something Scrim made. It's called Rock and Roll Randy's, which is like a McDonald's ripoff, but it's like the song Rock and Roll McDonald's, if you know that song. He's got a very interesting menu here, featuring Sad Fries, J Schlatt, Hubert, Anvil Uranium, and Saul Goodman for $500 for whatever reason. And then you go inside. It's actually pretty nice in here. There's some water dispensers over here for some drinks. And then the fridge also works, I think. Nope, I guess it's empty. Over here we have this random castle that me and Racecar built near the start of the world. There's not much in here, it's kind of empty. There's like a random little villager house there, a wheat farm, a little pin right there, some storage room, and there is a ladder to get on top. Again, there's not much up here either. One of the few builds that actually use birch wood, because 99% of the stuff on this world is just cobblestone and stone and oak wood. This is our cobblestone generator that also never gets used. And then all the way down here is our mine that goes all the way down to Y12. And it's not much of a strip mine, it's more just like a giant area dug out. Like right here at the bottom of the stairs, there's a random painting over there for some reason and a bunch of slimes and boats. But yeah, that's our mine right there. Moving on back up here, this building that it's right next to is we call it the community house, which is like the first actual building on the world, not counting that first base there. This is like the starter house that everyone kind of shares, and it has the shared storage room here, which I think most of these chests are just filled with cobblestone and dirt, because we just have way too much of both of those. So I think every chest has a few stacks of either of them. Yeah, especially that one. And then over here we have the pet pen, which consists of a random blue sheep, which can't eat any wool or any grass, so it never grows its wool back. Some random snow golem, who I don't even think he has a name. And then this is Sir Piggy Piggleton the 6th, not to be confused with Sir Piggy Piggleton the 5th or the 4th. I don't even know what happened to the first 3, or the 4th one honestly, but I think we had the 5th one in here, and then some random guy who joined the world killed him, and then we made a grave for him somewhere on a mountain. And then down here we have Blacksmith's secret little base down here, who joined the world for like a day and never played again. And then up the little waterfall here to the 2nd floor. I forgot how long it takes to swim upward. We got the bed there, enchanting room in here behind the bookshelf with the enchanting table that we also never use because we never have enough levels to use it. We're just constantly dying from killing each other and from fall damage. And then over here, as noted by that giant sheep statue in the background, we have our sheep farm, which used to look a lot different than this. It used to be like there wasn't a hole here and they were just up on the ground level. But we noticed they kept on like clipping out of the fence here, so that's why we put them in the hole. And then we have a whole bunch of chests up here for each of the colors of wool. Right now they're all dyed blue, I think because we were using them for one of the pixel arts that race car was making that had a lot of blue wool on it. Which, by the way, I forgot to show that off. That's all the way out here in the distance. You can see it. It's pretty big. It's the Persona 3 Reload album cover. It looks a little bad at nighttime, but you can pretty much imagine what it would look like in the daylight. So back over here by the sheep farm, we have our sugarcane farm over here in this cool looking greenhouse. Whole lot of sugarcane in there that we also pretty much never use. And then up these stairs here, we have the Twin Towers, which is totally normal, nothing wrong with that. I think Herobrine did 9/11, as you can tell by that statue there. Then if we keep going up this path, you can see that TU1 World sign up in the distance. But all the way up at the top of this mountain, we have this one random guy's house who... It's a weird looking house, that's for sure, but I think it does fit with the style of the world, because this version was back when no one knew how to build, really. This is Noob X23's Sweet Home. And you do get a really nice view, I will say, of a whole bunch of the world from up here. And he has nothing in his chest. I think we stole everything from his chest because he stopped playing on the world. Yeah, that's his house up there. We do have some open space here. I do want to build something there eventually. And then back down here by where this little flag is here, we have our little like Mount Rushmore thing, which you don't really get a good view from it up here. I'll try to show it later. But that's supposed to be my face, of course, and then that's Race Car, and then that's Scrim right there. And if we keep going on this little path here, just got a random tower right here for no reason other than just because it looks cool, and it's another place where you can get a kind of decent view of the world. There's not too much all over here yet, but everything on this side looks pretty nice. And there's some water down here. I want to see if I can land in it. Okay, nice. So down this way we have Scrim's Hotel that is currently being developed and has been for a long time. But at least he has this bottom floor done. There's like a little seating area here. This is the reception. Yeah, reception. Coat check. I think we put like, oh yeah, it looks like one of those desert temple chests, which is like the random sandstone and string and bones. And there's a bunch of red and white wool on that one for some reason. And then there's this really weird looking elevator, but at least it's functional. And that brings you up to the second floor, which has the rooms. And they're all furnished, looks pretty nice. He was planning on adding more floors with just the same rooms over and over again. But I think he like ran out of sandstone and glass and didn't feel like finishing it. So that's why it's just stuck at the second floor and it doesn't have a roof yet. I don't know if he's ever going to finish that hotel or not. Over here, just another random house. I think I made this one just to fill in some random space in the world. Pretty nice interior. It's got that classic bed design people used to use with the slabs around the double bed. And then back out here, we have this random garden here, which I didn't really have a purpose for making it. I just thought it looked cool and I needed to fill in the space there. And then just some random house in the middle of the mountain there, just because. And then this right here, this is Scrim's Goodwood shop, which is supposed to be a wood shop, but I think every single one of these chests is empty. So it's not much of a shop, more just a building. And then there's a attic up here, which just has a jukebox that plays the store music, I think. Over here, this is also something by Scrim. This is like his little area here he's been building stuff in. It's still being developed, as you can tell. You might have seen it in the last two videos that we made on this world. It's supposed to be a Walmart-themed school, for whatever reason. He loves making everything Walmart-related on this world. Walmart's kind of like taken over this world, as you can tell by this and a few other builds later on in the tour. But yeah, there's like a Walmart sign he's in the middle of making here. And then I guess these are supposed to be the double doors, and then this is all going to be... He said there's going to be 2 floors. I don't know why an elementary school would need 2 floors, but whatever. Yeah, this path's a dead end so far. You can see a railroad track we'll get to later, and then a little spot over there all the way at the very bottom right of the map down there in the snowy area. There's not much over there. I don't even know if I'll end up riding the minecart or not. But back this way, we have a few stalls right here that Racecar had made. A fish and bread shop right there, and I think this one's like for wood or something. And speaking of wood, we have our giant wood farm right here with mostly oak trees that we use because we use a lot of oak, as you can tell, in this world. Another random house right here. This is our underground pool, $200 no cruise control. And there's a drive-through window for whatever reason. It's not much of an underground pool. Let me just get up here for a second so I can show you. Like, pretty much this whole area here used to be like 5 or 6 blocks higher, and then we flattened out the whole thing. So that used to be underground at one point, but it's not really an underground pool anymore. And then up this path over here, we have a random wheat farm, which we have a lot of on this world. And then we have Racecar's skull that he made on the mountain. That was also one of the first things on the world. We call it the bowling ball indented skull because from far away it just looks like his frontal lobe just got indented by a giant bowling ball. Back down this way, you can get a kind of good view of the Walmart that Scrum made. That's also one of the staples of this world. I say kinda because the tree farm and the railroad track right there just completely cover it from the front. So you get a really bad view. It's not really good for business. But this is one of my favorite builds on the world that he made here. It's actually fully furnished. You got the checkouts there, some random pumpkins for whatever reason, and then a little food court. There's a subway. Over here we got a deli. And then over here we have an expert Panera, which is an inside joke of ours. And yeah, a whole bunch of shelves. They're all empty, of course, because all of his shops are empty. And then we have the pharmacy in all caps right there. And then there's like an employees only hallway back here. I think he has his actual storage room, because this is like his actual base, and he just has his actual chest back here. Are all of these empty as well? Does he just have no items? There's one with 43 redstone dust. Oh, he's got 2 diamonds. A few random blocks. I guess that's all he has to his name. This is our tower here. There's a water elevator in the middle, but it's ridiculously slow. It's like half as fast as just running up the stairs. It took me so long to make it just for it to be so slow, so I just kept it anyways because why not? And then this is the view from up at the top of the tower here. Again, you can see a whole lot of stuff from up here. Pretty much the entire world. You can't really see over there in the snowy area, but everything else you can pretty much see from up here, which is nice. Moving on down here, we have some kind of bar here. This is what NoobX23 made. DJ Noob X23's bar, free beer, 18 plus only. See, there's a bar for some reason. There are a whole bunch of water bottles. I guess they don't have enough budget for alcohol. Moving on down this path, we have this build over here, which is not really a build, but it's the Museum of Memes with a Z. And this is like a list of all of our inside jokes that we have between us. You might have heard a few of these from our videos, like the pizza from Little Caesars. That's mostly like for in 10 years when we're looking back on this world for all the memories and we read all of those and get all nostalgic, I guess. But we got this little dock area down here by the water. And then this is Scrim's house right here, which is a pretty nice house. Scrim's lovely house/prison. And the reason it's a prison is because Blacksmith the cow is in a jail cell with a bunch of TNT and blood for some reason. But yeah, this is Scrim's house here. It's got 3 floors. This is the 2nd floor, which is my favorite. And then all the way up here, the 3rd floor just has 2 paintings and a fireplace. And then also a balcony, which is kind of nice. You get a nice view. I've been saying nice view a lot on this tour. But moving back down this path past his house, there's a random temple right there, or a pyramid. Another house here. Keep going down this path, and this brings us all the way down here to Batty Santa Island, which we'll get to in a minute. We got the lighthouse right there. Then back this way, we have a giant creeper statue, because I feel like every Minecraft world has to have at least one of those. And this is just a huge open, like, free real estate here that we need to build something on, but we just haven't yet, because we have too many things we're building. But this is Batty Santa Island right here. As you can tell right there, Batty Santa Island. Bad Santa skin only from Festive Skin Pack. Let me just put that on real quick. There it is, Baddie Santa. So yeah, this is Baddie Santa Island. It's really just an island with walls and a giant Bad Santa skin statue right there. The lore behind this one was we were all the way over there at some other house, which I'll get to later, and we were all putting on the Bad Santa skin, and I was showing everyone how if you sit AFK with the skin for long enough, he sits down. Let me see if I can get it to do it here. If you don't touch your controller for I think like 10 seconds, then he just sits down. Only if you're wearing the skin. Yep, there you go. It said other people can't see it. Only you can see it. Back this way, we have up there is just a little tunnel that connects back to where the Walmart was. And then this right here is actually a subway, which I might as well take just to show you while I get back. There's a few of these around the world. I plan on making some more later. Like that one's just a dead end at the moment. But if you go this way, this takes you all the way back to around where the Walmart was. And there's a few other stations that they can take you to as well. Like this is, if I come out here, this is up right next to the Walmart right there. Over where the Goodwood and the garden and the hotel was. And then this one has an actual subway in the subway that Scrim made. And if I take it down this way, this leads back around to where my house is, which will be the next area of the tour. You can also see a sneak peek of the giant chunk that we dug out right there. You can just see a little window of it as we pass by. Yep, so that's the subway, and this takes you out next to where my house is, which I might as well show you. So this is the first floor here. Got a TV, some nice decorations down here, not to toot my own horn or anything. This is the storage room, which me and apparently Scrim and Racecar spend a lot of time in because they're always stealing my stuff. And the third floor is kind of unfinished. It's literally just my bed and that's it. Yeah, that's my house, nothing too crazy. I just stuck with the theme of the old style of building with it, as with most of the stuff on this world. Speaking of house, this is Racecar's house right here. Very cool house, as you can tell. You might have seen it in the thumbnail of the last video. I guess that's his dog and some of his belongings. I think I kind of skipped over this, but back over here by where the tower was, we have our list of players here. So of course we have me, Racecar, and Scrim. And then Blacksmith, who I showed his little house in the basement of the community house. Noobx23, who made that house on the hill back up there. And then that little bar right there. There's a few other people here. Most of these people didn't build anything. They could just kind of join, but I just added them just because. Cooper did build one thing though. I mean, he didn't really build it. But this is his house right here, Cooper's house. I actually built this house for him. He just kind of took ownership of it. But he did make this little Cooper's Cafe here. If you come back around into here, he's got, I would say a whole bunch of food. It's really just a bunch of water and some cocaine. But go down this path, this leads back down to the dock there. We got Racecar's windmill here that he made. Isaac's windmill. Just filled with crafting tables for whatever reason. And then back down here we have another wheat farm that's just down here at the shore there. Oh, and there's a creeper in the dock. That's not good. And he just jumped into the water. Okay. Well, I don't really like fighting creepers in the water, so I'm just going to leave him be. But I am going to light this up so that doesn't happen again. And then back over this way, I know I said that was Racecar's house back over there, like the one made out of dirt and stuff. But down here behind all the sugar cane, we have his actual base. Isaac's base real, in parentheses. You might have saw this at the start of the last video. The noob versus pro versus hacker video. This is Racecar's base that is also currently under construction. I don't know if he'll ever finish it or not. But he's got this main room kind of done. It's based off of Mesmer's Arena from Elden Ring. But we kind of took our own creative liberties here. And then he's got a storage room over here, which I think is just empty. Yeah, this is the storage room, and then there's another hallway over there that's also empty. And then just so many chests full of cobblestone over here. I guess that one's empty. Yeah, there's a lot of cobblestone from me and him mining that room out. And then back up here, if we go along this path here, you can see our mob farm there, which I wouldn't say it doesn't work, but I wouldn't say it does. I think mob farms in general, like just traditional mob farms like this, don't really work too well in Legacy Edition, just because of the way the mobs spawn and like the mob limits and all of that. But yeah, maybe like once in a blue moon there'll be a creeper in there, but that's it. This is Frosty's Hot Buns, which is totally not stolen from Stampy's Hot Buns. But yeah, it's just a one-to-one recreation of the one from Stampy's Lovely World. Down here we have a random skyscraper I made. We did actually, me and Scrim came up with an idea of what to do in here in our Discord server, so I might be doing that in the next episode. But yeah, this is just pretty much empty all the way up to the top. I'm not even going to bother going up there because you get the idea. But we will be filling that out in one of the next few episodes here. This area is also under construction. I think Racecar just dug all of that sand out, so there's just a giant crater there. Yeah, we got a little pool right there and then a cereal bowl. If I go like that, you can kind of see it. It's based off of the one from our old community super flat world, which I do actually have a video of on my channel if you scroll back a little bit. That was something that Racecar had made on that world, and I think one of the only things he had made. And then I had made that kind of like in a reference to it. I think he made his out of quartz, so I had to make or white concrete, so I had to make it out of wool. Because of course concrete wasn't a thing back in TU9. But over this way we have the Walmart Scientology building, which is also empty, just like that skyscraper over there. I'm not going to bother going in there either. Over here we have another random house, which was owned by someone at one point, but he kind of never joined back on the world after we made this house, so I guess it's also a free house for sale. Then moving along this way, we have Cooper's grave right here. Rest in peace, Cooper, buried alive. I think we just buried him alive there and then took away his permissions and then made a grave because he died. Over here we have this really cool waterfall that we made, and also this whole lake we kind of made ourselves. So this used to just be a normal valley with trees and stuff, and then we made all of this, which I think looks really cool. And then this is the house I was talking about earlier from the Baddie Santa Island. I don't know if I have the screenshot, but I'll try to find it. But me, Scrim, and Benny were sitting in these 3 chairs here in the Baddie Santa skins, and we took a screenshot just sitting here at the sunrise. So that was pretty cool. And then up here, there's this random bridge here that leads over to this tower by the dock, which I might as well walk across. And speaking of the dock, this is the last kind of corner of the world here that we have left on the tour, so I'll just head down the ladder right here. This spot is currently the most under construction out of all of the world. As you can tell, like, I was just making that before I started making this video. I don't even know what this is going to be. It's just like a random little shack here at the end of the boardwalk, which is this whole spot right here, the boardwalk. This is the SS Walmart from the last video, which isn't finished yet. It's pretty much the same as it was left off at the end of the video, but it doesn't need too much more. I mean, this part is all done with all these crates. I did need some more blue wool. I think that's actually what I needed all that blue wool for in the sheep farm. And then this back here, I think I was going to use snow blocks to make like the actual captain's quarters or whatever it's called at the back of the ship. But yeah, it's pretty much done, and then maybe slap a Walmart logo on the side with some yellow wool. Over here, it's a little jarring to look at from this close. You might have to squint your eyes, but that's another album that me and Racecar had made. It's the City of Evil by Avenged Sevenfold. And you can see the pin there from all the sheep we were breeding, because that cost a lot of wool to make that. We just had tons of sheep in that little pen, constantly shearing them. Back onto the boardwalk here. This spot is pretty empty. I do plan on making something secret for that in our next episode. I'm not going to spoil what it is yet. And then up here on this path here, we have the cereal bowl, which was also in the last video. We call it the cereal bowl. It's basically just a fighting coliseum. There's a locker room right there, and you come up here and there's a little bar with some seats. And then up here is the main attraction with all of the seats viewing the little battle arena down there. This is probably my favorite build on the world. I really like how it turned out, and it definitely gives that old style to it, with all the old building techniques and all of that. And then over here we have Allison's house, who isn't someone who's played on this world necessarily, but this was actually an exact recreation of her house from the SMP, if you remember that from our channel from about a year or two ago. But yeah, I did everything like all of the chests here with the different names. I copied everything one for one as it was on hers. And then back over this way, going back down to the boardwalk, we have the Monster School right here, which is not as big as a school as Scrim's Walmart School, but it's just a recreation. If you guys remember that one Monster School series on YouTube, this is just that one classroom, like recreated one for one. But yeah, not much of a school, kind of just a monster classroom at best. And then over here we have Scrim's El Machos, or his beta El Machos as he likes to call it. This is not really a recreation, but like a reference or like a prequel to his El Machos on the SMP, which was his Mexican scam restaurant as he likes to call it. And of course all those blocks he used, like the terracotta and the concrete and the quartz, weren't a thing, so it's mostly just sandstone and netherrack and a little bit of stone. But he's got a menu up here. Everything is just meth for some reason. And the meth dog is $22,123. And yeah, I think that's pretty much all of the world. Let me walk around and see if I missed anything, because I probably did with how big this world is. I mean, there are little few things I didn't point out, like a few other random houses right there. There's our... Let me get to a better place so I can look at it. We got our United States of Walmart flag right there with the Walmart logo and the blue spot. I'm sure you can guess who made that. Yeah, I think that's pretty much everything in the world. I'm just going to get one last view as the sun's setting up here at the top of the tower, which is pretty good timing. Yeah, expect some more videos on this world soon. We have a lot of ideas, a lot of open space to build stuff, like all the way out there. We're going to be building something right there next episode. Scrim's still got to finish his giant Walmart school, which is becoming way bigger than I thought it would be. So yeah, thanks for watching, and as always, don't forget to stay frosty. I really thought I was going to land in there.